Hello, 5th graders. Welcome to lesson 4.1, Decimal Multiplication Patterns. Let's get started. Today's objective is I can apply patterns of multiplication to decimals by counting place value changes with 100% accuracy in multiple attempts. Remember that the I can and the by need to be typed into your digital math notebook. Go ahead and pause to do that now. Today's lesson also has some vocabulary words. In your digital math notebook, I have given you part of the vocabulary words. You are looking to fill in the missing words. Our first vocabulary word is the word 10 times. And that means to multiply by 10, which increases a number, and adds a place value to the right. This is important. And then the opposite of multiplying times 10 would be to take 1/10, but we're still multiplying. But notice we're multiplying by a decimal now, and that means that we're going to decrease a number and move to the left. So in the picture, which is also in your digital math notebook, when we multiply by 10, we move to the right. And when we multiply or divide by 1/10, we move to the left. Pause now to type in the missing words from your vocabulary into your digital math notebook. All right, friends, just a reminder that when you see this I in the bottom corner, it means that you can put your pencil down for just a moment and watch me do math. Be prepared to pick it up on the next slide. In multiplication patterns, we know that when we multiply by more than 1, our number should get bigger. So we're going to use our multiplication patterns that we did earlier in the year and apply them to decimals. So if we look here on the left, we have the number 1.5. We're going to multiply 1.5 by 10. So you might think, okay, I'm going to do 1.5 and then add a 0 on the end. But we know that 1.5 with a 0 on the end is the exact same number. It doesn't help me by just adding that 0 on the end. So when we multiply by 10 with a decimal, we don't just add a 0 to the end. What we do is we're going to take this 10 and we're going to make the decimal get bigger by moving it over here. 1.5 times 10 would get 10 times bigger, and our number would be 15. So our decimal was here, and we moved it over one place value because we had 1 0. Now notice we have 1.5 again, but now we have 2 zeros. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it 2 place values. Now I'm going to write this over here so you can see it. If I had 1.5 and I go 2 place values, that means I have a hole. So in that hole, I'm going to put a 0. So my answer is going to be now 150. So now it looks like I just added a 0 on the end. It is important to know that these numbers still have decimals. They're just at the end here of our numbers. So now let's try this with 1,000. So we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that means we're going to move 1, 2, 3 place values, and we're going to fill in those holes with zeros. So now our number is 1, 5, then 2 zeros, and those are decimal at the end. So our number would be 1,500. Last time here, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So we're going to move, I'm going to rewrite it down here, 1.5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to fill in with zeros. And our decimal's here at the end because that's what we're moving. So we have 1, 5, 0, 0, 0, and there's our decimal. So now my number would be 15,000. So it is getting bigger each time, and my decimal is moving to the right, but it's not just my decimal, and it's not just a 0, it's both. So now if we take this idea and we apply it to exponents, which we learned back in Unit 1, we know that if we multiply 10 to the power of 0, 10 to the power of 0 is the same as 1. So if I do 3.2 times 1, that's going to be 3.2. Nothing changes. But now remember, 10 to the power of 1 means that it has 1 0. That's the same as 10. So this would be 3.2 times 10. When we do 3.2 times 10, we're going to move 1 place value. So now our number is going to be 32, and our decimal would be at the end. In our next example, we have 10 to the power of, sorry about that. So 10 to the power of 2 would have 2 zeros, that's 100. So 3.2 times 100 would have us move our decimal 2 times, 1, 2, and fill in with a 0. So that would be 320. So we're doing the same thing that we did on the left. We're just seeing it as an exponent. 10 to the power of 3 would have 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 times 3.2 means that we're going to move, I'm going to write it down here, 3.2, 1, 2, 3 places and fill in with zeros. So we have 3,200. So you can see that our numbers are getting bigger because we're multiplying by more than 1. We're multiplying by a bigger number each time. 2. All right, 5th graders, time to do a problem with me. This problem is in your digital math notebook, so remember to pause and type in your answers as we go. On this slide, we're going to be multiplying by less than 1. When we multiply by less than 1, our number is going to get smaller. So this time, instead of moving our decimals to the right, we're going to move our decimals to the left because that's going to make our number get smaller. So here is our number, 1,353, and it would have a decimal here at the end, even if we don't see it. Now we're going to multiply by 1/10. And remember, we can also see 1/10 like this. So 1/10 is less than a whole, which means our number is going to get smaller. This has 1 0, so we're going to move 1 place value. So our number gets smaller. Now our number is 135.3. So now instead of having 1,353, now I have 135.3. So it's all the same digits. The only thing that moved was my decimal. Now in this next example, I have 1/100th. So I have 2 zeros. That means my decimal, which starts at the end, is going to move 1 2 places. So now my number is going to be 13.53, moving to the left. And our last example here has 1 2 3 zeros. So our decimal starts at the end and we count 1 2 3 zeros. So my number is going to be 1.353. So each time my number is getting smaller. Pause to write these answers into your digital math notebook. All right, friends, we're almost done. Time for the lesson activity. In this lesson activity, we're going to be multiplying by less than 1, like we just did, and moving our numbers to the left. I will get you started. Our first problem has 784 times 1/10. 1/10 has 1 0, so our decimal is going to start at the back and move in 1 place. So our number is going to be 78.4. Okay, now we have a new number. We have 963.4, and we're going to move 1 2 place values. So we're going to go 1 2. So our number is going to be 9.4. 8.634. And here's our last one. We have 1, 2, 3 zeros. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3 place values. So write this number over here. It's going to be 8 point, and you fill in the rest of the number. Great job, 5th graders. When your notes are complete, do your exit slip and be ready to meet your teacher at the table. Great job.